then, I suppose, squad-wise, how are they looking for the weekend?
We're good, we're fine, we've had a good week's work. We've been working on certain issues that's been disappointing for us. We believe that we've got back to basics a little bit, back to one or two scenario situations we find ourselves in, and that'll be the key to turning the season round. We are certainly showing, our suggestions that we're showing that in most games we're capable of winning them. We're just letting 3 or 4 minutes of madness last week get to us, and that's what we've got to try and change.
Is it confidence as well? I think you mentioned it before, but when you go through such a run like this, it's trying to pick the players up.
Listen, it's not a real time for me to manage the players. It's a time for me to lead the players right now, and that's what I've been doing. I believe that, well, I know I'll fix it. You know, I've done an apprenticeship at this end of the table a few years ago, and I've fixed that, and I'm certainly capable of fixing this situation. The confidence that I've got in me that these players are good enough. You know, I suggested last week to the board that we bring in a loan here or there, and we've done that in Neil Dan's to help the players to get that first win. And I believe when we get that first win, the confidence will grow from there.
Is that fresh injection of a new player as well? Is that also something that, you know, kind of helps?
Yeah, there's many ways you can lead a football club in this situation, and you know sometimes it's a few fresh faces if the board are willing to do that, which they certainly are at this football club. And it's going in the training ground and working very hard and making sure the players understand going back to basics, you know. So that's what's certainly been doing, and I've got no problem in doing that, and that I strongly believe will turn it round.
And I think, as you mentioned, you've already said, you know, that you've got confidence you can turn this around. There's no fear there in your mind of thinking, right, I can't get anything else out of these players.
Yeah. Well, certainly, if you've seen us playing, which I don't, maybe not of, but our fans, who are the real ones I'm talking to, have seen us playing, and they've seen us playing in majority of the games. We've been more than capable of winning the game. We're going through moments right now where we're lacking in concentration, and that is hurting us badly. So therefore, again, we have worked in certain scenarios which will help the players, and that's, again, go back to the coaches leading them rather than managing situations. So I'll get full confidence in the players once they do pick themselves up from the disappointment quicker than they have been. They've got the ability and the quality to win games of football, and hopefully starting on Saturday.
We saw what great run you went on last season as well with a lot of the similar players. Do you think it is just getting that win, just kind of always getting that monkey on the back, and then you could go again on the field?
Yes, it's a simple answer I've got. Yes, I do believe that, and it's been very, very close, and I do feel for the players because they've been dealt some difficult games at difficult times for us, but they're certainly not shying away from playing the way I like to play, and they're not been shying away from being brave on the ball and keeping us attacking. You know, what we've got to do is recover from setbacks a little bit better. And as I say, that's what we've worked on in the training ground. So the division's very tight. Not only every game you play is very tight, it can go either way. The league table's very tight, and when you play 3 games in a week and you get the positive results that hopefully we'll be getting, then you can soon turn it round very quickly, as you said what happened last season to us.
Yeovil this weekend, how good an opportunity is it to get this first win against us? Who are down there as well?
Yeovil are going to look at us, and they're going to, the manager, wonderful manager, has done a fantastic job, and he's going to look at us and say to himself that if they want to stay in this division, they've got to take points off a teams in and around us, and that's what they're going to try and do. It's a difficult game for us because it's a game that, yes, possibly we're the favourites to win, you know, but a game right now that we're not playing fantastically well, so we've got to turn that round, and we've got to go back to basics and make sure we make it a very uncomfortable 95 minutes for Yeovil. And I think if we do that, yes, then we could possibly have the quality to win the game, but not before that.
How important is this game at the weekend? Is it a must win already? Or?
Well, listen, every game in this division is a must win. I know where you're coming from, and your mindset is, you know, is this game because of where we are a must win? But in my eyes, as a football manager, that, you know, most games we need to go into trying to win, and this is no different. The difference is that we find ourselves, as I said, in a disappointing position, and that might put added pressure. But it's up to me as the manager of the football club to lead the players in such a way that they will not feel pressured. They'll continue playing the wonderful stuff they've been playing. They'll possibly a little bit better at executing the chances that they've come their way, and possibly a little bit better at focusing at the other end. And that's what we've been certainly doing.
I mean, just looking at the fixtures, there's a run of games against teams which are sort of Do you look that far ahead?
No, I look at 3 games. I do look at 3 games. I look at a 3-game run always, so I know exactly what we're going to do against Birmingham. I know exactly what we're going to do against Blackpool, and I know exactly what we're going to do against Yeovil. So I do look at 3-game scenarios, to be honest with you, and I try and pick a team that will help us win against Yeovil. And I look no further than that, but never take an eye off the prize, which is on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, where it really matters to make sure we've not only prepared right, but we turn up with the application that we know exactly what we're doing. We know how to win the game.
They've not won since the first game of the season. What do you make of them so far this season?
We've not won at all, so they're a little bit better than us right now. So I make them a very difficult opponent. I make their manager probably the manager of the season. Last season, getting Yeovil up, I make them a team that are probably thinking that they're going to come here with nothing to lose. We need to make sure that we're a very professional approach. We need to make sure we do the basics very well, the simple things better than they do. And I believe when we do that, our quality has never been in question.
What about from a sort of goals point of view? The strikers are finding it a bit difficult at the moment.
Yeah, that was an ex-striker, and I'm going to always stick up for strikers because they always get the blame. That's the thing. But being a striker, and I know what my strikers are like. In fact, it's exactly the way I want them. Being a striker, don't worry, when they start scoring, they're the one that will take all the back pages. I know them, so you'll get a lot of sympathy from me. You're going to get a lot of hard work from me. Make sure they're in the right areas. Make sure we keep on creating the opportunities we have, and then when they get the goals, then they'll take the slap in the back, and they'll take the praise.
Thank you very much. Just briefly again, you mentioned Neil Dan might be the first of many. Are you still looking out there?
I'm always looking. We're always looking as managers, but I'm looking for the certain types that will help us in this current situation. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't thinking about the situation we'd be in. I didn't think we'd be in this. I was probably looking for players with maybe that wow factor, or maybe the factor that will be the difference in games. But we've got them at the football club. We have got the players that can make the difference. What we need is your players that are trying to prove a point, maybe not to Bolton, but to someone, and we'll benefit from it. And we have got players in mind, and when they become available, then I'll do my very best to try and get them here with the backing of the board.
So there's nothing immediate then?
There's nothing tomorrow. There's nothing the next, before this interview ends. But there is certainly, things that are right now in line to get done, maybe before the weekend or after the weekend. The support from the board has been fantastic in terms of what you need to get done. I am a manager that likes to, plan for the future and make sure the club's in good stead, and that's what we're trying to do. Taking nothing for granted in Saturday's short-term results, because fans pay good money and entitled to short-term gain. So there's a bigger picture in terms of what we've got to do now with loans, and the bigger picture of what we've got to do at the end of the season.
I know you can't go into or won't go into any specifics, but is there areas that you feel that you particularly need to strengthen? Yeah,
of course there's areas. You can't strengthen the whole team. It's impossible to strengthen the whole team. You need to strengthen one by one areas. But as you've seen last season, taking a couple of loans, without naming names, to kickstart our season from Christmas onwards, we were the team in form, and if it had shown that team would have been promoted. I spent the first part at my previous club at Palace, and we got off to a great start, and then they just hung on in the end. I spent the second part of the season at a club that didn't quite do it, so bit of a mixed season. I know how this division works, and you can certainly get up there if you get a run together.